first day of the new session of Congress, but instead of being in Washington, Harris, who narrowly beat Democrat Dan McCready by 905 votes in November, was in Raleigh, hoping to be certified as the race's winner. The North Carolina State Board of Elections voted not to do that in late November, citing concerns about potential election fraud. Only WBTV's chief investigative reporter Nick Oxner sat down with Harris one-on-one today. Nick live in Raleigh tonight with more on his exclusive conversation. Nick?
Yeah, Jamie, Mark Harris came to Raleigh to do two things today. First was to file a new legal action with the court asking a judge to order he be certified as the winner of that 9th Congressional District contest. And second, to meet with investigators with the North Carolina State Board of Elections. We talked about both things when I sat down with him to talk today. It was a busy day for Mark Harris Thursday that started with him filing this legal action, asking a judge to certify him as the winner of November's election for the 9th Congressional District. The filing specifically cites the fact that the old State Board of Elections that refused to certify his race has been ruled unconstitutional and refused to certify, despite the fact his opponent, Democrat Dan McCready, never filed a protest or requested even a recount. The filing asks the court to order the Board of Elections to certify the race, which would allow him to be seated by Congress. On Thursday, the U.S. House clerk said no certification of election had been submitted for North Carolina's 9th District, so nobody could be sworn in. You won this election. You should be in Washington getting sworn in as a member of Congress today had you been certified, but you're here in Raleigh today instead. What's that like?
I think a word I've used to describe it already today is disappointing.
After filing his court action, Harris met with State Board of Elections investigators for roughly 2 hours.
And there were some personalities that I was asked about when I met them, what I knew about them, what I knew about processes, and it was good. It was about an hour-and-a-half long meeting.
New affidavits have emerged that were filed by the Dan McCready campaign that allege more wrongdoing by McCrae Dallas or people working for McCrae Dallas. Does that concern you that more evidence continues to come out about that?
Well, it's interesting that you mention the affidavits because it almost seems as quick as an affidavit comes out, within hours you get something that's extremely disputed. The affidavits at this point, I'm not sure of what their value is. We don't have a Board of Elections now. We don't even have a process at this point of how this is going to end, which is the reason that we've taken the action that we've taken, and that is to ask a Superior Court judge here in Wake County to certify this race.
You'd have a lot of at least public perception to mend, to convince people that you're their representative, you know, after this messy process. I think everyone could admit. What would you do to start that process?
I'm standing on my reputation over the last 30 years in my adult life as a senior pastor, as a community servant, as somebody who has sought to lead, and somebody who has been there and walked through life with people. I will continue to be that, and I will let my reputation stand over the last 30 years and believe that people are wise enough to see through the political weaponization of a state agency that can sometimes happen when it falls into the wrong hands.
Now, we learned just minutes ago from the Wake County Court that a hearing hasn't been scheduled yet in Harris's petition, but they have asked interested parties to file briefs by 2 Mondays from now. I also asked Mark Harris if his court challenge were to ultimately result in him being certified as the winner of this race, what would he say to those people who think he shouldn't be in Congress because of the allegations of impropriety that have emerged over the last few weeks? His answer to that will come up tonight on WBTV at 6. For now, reporting live in Raleigh, Nick Oxner, WBTV.